Hey everyone, I'm Day. I farmed Syndicate safe houses in Harbor Bridge for 20 hours straight as fast and efficiently as I could and tracked my loot drops. This video will discuss the loot, talk about the general strategy, and give tips that few people know about to maximize profit in Syndicate encounters. This video won't answer every question you have about Syndicate farming, but I think it will definitely point you in the right direction if you have no clue. In those 20 hours, I earned over 10,200 chaos, or around 510 chaos per hour, which is around 3 exalts per hour at the moment. I prepared an Excel sheet that outlines all my loot in detail, including profit breakdowns and math. Feel free to check it out to learn a bit more. The link is in the description. Otherwise, I won't go too in-depth about my loot here. Some notable facts are that I upgraded 52 pure breachstones. The breachstone upgrades themselves make up just a little over half of my profits. I got a lot of scarabs, and about 90% of the chaos you see in this tab is from selling research stash openings, which I'll touch on later. I got 2 raw exalted orbs to drop, which I consider to be very lucky. The other 2 exalts you see here is from landing a good 3 socket craft using Varici's rank 3 bench, which I'll also touch on later. The best thing about farming Syndicate is that everything here sells almost instantly and in bulk, making the item to currency conversion one of the easiest in the game. Not only that, farming Syndicate doesn't require buying sextants, fragments, rolling maps, whatever. You can do it for hours at a time with minimal setup. Literally anyone who has completed Act 8 with a brain can do this strategy. And the faster you go and the more you learn, the faster you earn currency. So the big question is, what did I actually do? How do you go from randomly clicking Syndicate buttons to making around 3 exalts per hour? I'll do my best to explain my strategy and then talk about some important points when manipulating the Syndicate for profit. My strategy revolves around putting as much movement speed on my character as possible. I had 316 movement speed with flasks up, and this reaches over 350% when I'm in there killing stuff. The faster I moved, the faster I made money, and obviously I have a lot of investment into my character, but you don't need nearly as much to move just as fast. I run into Harbor Bridge and sprint along the road until I encounter the Syndicate. I kill them, click the right buttons, and then run to another end of the bridge and back to reset the zone. Alternatively, I sometimes take a portal to town and then to Lunaris Concourse to reset the zone. Harbor Bridge was chosen because it was the easiest thing for me to run on my build. Just one straight line, allowing my Mirage Archer Tornado Shot to kill mobs and regain flash charges for me as I ran. I also picked up whatever high value currencies and 6 sockets that dropped as well. I know some people run the Foothills or the Ossuary, but I just didn't like the layouts and I don't really know whether it's more or less profitable per hour. I did this running in Harbor Bridge and Syndicate repeatedly non-stop for hours at a time, only stopping to run research and intervention safe houses, which is how I generated almost all this currency. I will only run research safe houses when It That Fled has been put into the leader position at rank 3. It That Fled allows you to upgrade normal breachstones to their pure breachstone version, which will generally net you around 100 chaos profit per stone at the time of making this video. Therefore, around 200 chaos profit every single research safe house. This makes up the bulk of the currency gain. I switch between different breachstones depending on market trends and which color I like the most at the moment, but really it doesn't matter that much. I think Tulle or Ulnatol or Ash are all good choices. Everything else that you can get in research as a member is a bonus. Varici rank 3 is good in research for his white socket crafting, which can earn a profit if you apply them to an item where people want white sockets. For example, I created a 6-link Queen of the Forest with 3 blue sockets and 3 white sockets that sold for a 2 exalt profit. Because Queen of the Forest is a dexterity base, getting 6 off colors that aren't green is very difficult, so they sell for a pretty good markup in price if you can get 6 colors that aren't green. Leo, rank 3, is good for his free Exalted Orb slams that you can put on your own crafts or gear, and Corel is also a fantastic choice for his fossils that you can open in the stashes. Tora is also a fine choice. You can use that to upgrade Enlighten or Empower gems for a good profit as well. Notably, whenever I got Corel or someone else with an openable stash in research, like Rin or Haku, I sold the chest openings in some kind of trade chat for 5 to 10 chaos each, which earned a tiny amount of extra cash. People are looking for research stash openings to complete their league challenges, and just by being in the syndicate hideout when you are opening the chest, they can get an extra one towards their own completion of the challenge. This only took around 2 minutes or so every hour, so it was well worth my time to do so. In my intervention safe houses, I did everything possible to get Chimeria, Gravicius, Rin, Jorgen, and Haku ranked up as high as possible within that safe house. The higher the rank and the more of them in the group, the more profit I get from their respective scarabs. Chimeria is the best one to have in the leader position. However, getting everyone in the safe house and getting everyone rank 3 isn't really a priority, since even the rusted and polished versions of the scarabs sell pretty quickly. If the safe house was maxed out on intelligence and I had 3 out of 5 of these people in the safe house, I ran it anyway. I didn't bother waiting for all 5 or all rank 3. Now, something important to note is that there are 17 syndicate members in total, but only 14 can be on your board at any given time. To maximize your profit, you want to kick out the useless members and bring in the useful members. Therefore, my syndicate board has been set up as you can see here. I've removed Janus, Vagan, and Aisling. Removing Guff, Riker, or Hillock are also perfectly viable options. These members provide a minimal profit when put into research and intervention safe houses. Now, all these profit gathering mechanisms can be taken advantage of in full if you are able to run through syndicate encounters quickly and know how to properly manipulate syndicate members around the board. While anyone can do this strategy, the more you know, the more money you make. For many players, manipulating the syndicate is the biggest challenge. Unfortunately, this video is not going to be a comprehensive guide about that. There are other videos that do a great job at explaining, and I've linked 2 of my personal favorites in the description below, even if they do get a couple things wrong here and there. That being said, I will touch on a few important things about syndicate manipulation that should really help you after you've learned the basics. For example, I've heard tons of people say they've been farming for hours but can't get research safe houses to spawn, or they just can't get It That Fled to rank 3, or they just can't get the right members on the board. Hopefully, my next few tips can give you a better understanding of what's going on. As you can see here, my syndicate has been set up to have as many red rivalry connections between members as possible. There are some trusted relationships as well, but my priority is to make as many red links as I can. The main reason is that when you have 2 syndicate members dead on the ground, you will only get the option to rank 1 of 2 of them up if they are rivals, meaning not when they are trusted or neutral. Trusted does have value sometimes because you can get the option to +1 rank all members of one faction while -1 rank to all members of another faction if they are between 2 trusted members of 2 different syndicate branches. However, that is fairly rare and feels inconsistent to me. I didn't really like it. The main reason because when you -1 rank of all members in one faction, it completely shifts around the board and is a nightmare to fix. Also, most of the time when members are trusted, you get a bad option like this person is removed from the syndicate, which is completely useless and actually detrimental when your syndicate board is already established. You want to get +1 rank options as many times as possible for a number of reasons, which I don't have time to talk about. Aside from obviously the higher rank they are, the more money you get. Syndicate blocking is also very important in farming. When a syndicate has their maximum intelligence and is ready to be run, it will not appear for 3 turns in your next encounters. Therefore, you can try to keep transportation and fortification maxed out as long as possible to prevent them from spawning in. As a general rule, the leader of a safe house is the hardest one to rank up. They will never spawn in as the initial member waiting for you in a syndicate encounter. They will only fly in through a green portal as a support member to help any syndicate member that you're currently attacking. A common mistake people make is they push It That Fled into the leader position of research while it is still rank 1 or 2. Therefore, making it more difficult than usual to bring it up to rank 3 and in a position where the safe house can actually be ran. Do your best to make It That Fled rank 3 first, then imprison the current research leader to push It That Fled into where it should be. Furthermore, just a little note about which of the 4 syndicate branches spawn in. A lot of people assume because there are 4 different branches, each one has a equal 25% chance to spawn in. I don't think that's how it works. I think it works a little bit differently. I think a better way to think about it is that it is a syndicate member spawning in to represent that syndicate branch in any given encounter. For example, if there are 4 members under intervention and only 1 member under research, intervention is going to have a 4 times greater chance to spawn in. Keep that in mind as you are running this strategy and how it affects the speed at which you rank certain members up, or rather, you rank certain branches up. If you only have 1 member in research and 9 members in other branches, you may go long stretches without a research syndicate encounter ever spawning in, and therefore you'll decrease your ability to upgrade it that fled and get pure breach stones. This may not be entirely true, and there's definitely hidden mechanisms at play here, but feels like this is how it works anecdotally. Finally, there's a bit of a glitch I think you should know about. I'm not sure if it's intended to work this way or when it will be fixed, but the best way to explain it is by illustrating it. In this clip here, Tora from Transportation spawns into an intervention encounter. She says that if you interrogate, you will get plus 11 intelligence to transportation per turn. However, as you can clearly see in the following turn, that plus 11 intelligence is actually applied to intervention, the syndicate branch she came in to support. Note that transportation got maxed here due to another member being interrogated in the previous turn, and it wasn't due to Tora, it just happens to be a coincidence. This means that when you're trying to build intelligence on research or intervention safe houses, you can actually interrogate members of other syndicate branches if they spawn in during those research or intervention encounters. This will give you intelligence via interrogation even if it doesn't say so on the prompt. This will vastly increase the speed at which you can level up each individual branch. Now, if this gets changed or if this gets patched, I'll pin a comment down below. Now, those are the main points I wanted to talk about in terms of syndicate manipulation. Again, check the links in the description for other videos that will cover other components of syndicate farming. All in all, this is a very different currency making strategy from farming maps, Uberlab, or fossils in Delve. To maximize how well this strategy works for you, you need to do your research and put effort into thinking about the outcome of each decision. If I were to discuss every single manipulation possibility, this video would be over an hour long. If you do want to watch a video that's over an hour long, I've done an uncut live commentary of an hour and a half of syndicate farming to show my process. I think in that hour and a half I made like 700 chaos, so it also shows you how much money you can make. The link is in the description. Know that you are probably not going to make the same currency though that I do at the start. You need to set up your rivalry relationships. You'll need to move certain members from your syndicate board and add some in. You'll need to move really fast, which requires a bit of building and investment. Most importantly, you need to learn how to manipulate the syndicate efficiently, something that can only be done by trial and error. For me, even after doing this for dozens of hours, I'm still learning new things that makes farming easier or faster, and that's why it's so fun for me. Regardless of whether or not this strategy is something you will ever try, I hope I was able to show you something interesting or teach you something new. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, not PMing me in game, do not do that. Leave them in the comments below and I will do my best to help everyone there. In any case, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching and I'll catch you all next time.